Hello, and thank you for joining me. What you're looking at right now on the screen is the needs assessment survey that was sent out to teachers locally to find out what the needs were for teachers right now. And so that is actually what led to this professional development. Is I found out that the majority of the teachers highly selected strategies for teaching virtually today. So that being said, here's my presentation. Hi, this is Jamie Ferguson presenting strategies for teaching virtually today. So why is it important to learn more about teaching virtually? Well, first of all, if you're a teacher right now, you're probably teaching virtually in some way. You might be teaching completely virtually, or you might be teaching a little bit. Either way, we need to become good at it. We need to utilize the resources that are out there and be able to engage our students, whether we're in person or online. And so today, I want to give as many tips and strategies as I can to help you along. Okay, now it's time for a check-in. I want to see from you how you feel about teaching virtually. We know that it's never been like this before, and there's a lot of changes that are going on. So first of all, answer these questions on the Padlet that's attached. Are you struggling? What concerns you the most about teaching virtually? What skills do you need or what are you lacking? And can you be an effective teacher online? If you will, take a moment, answer that question or those questions, and we'll get back together. Okay, so I want to take a moment just to kind of check the pulse and see what you guys are thinking. So first of all, we'll all share together eventually, but are you struggling or how do you feel about teaching virtually? What concerns do you have? And really, what concerns you the most? What skills do you lack? What do you need? And answer the question of can you be an effective teacher online? So recently, I got to watch an incredible webinar, and I would suggest it to anyone who is struggling with teaching online. It's called Solving Academic and Behavior Problems in a Remote Environment, and it's by Margaret Searle and Marilyn Schwartz. And the two of them put on an excellent presentation that really talks about some of the common struggles. And some of the things that they mentioned was, first of all, focus and attention. Sometimes kids just do not know what to focus on. There's so much that's going on in the world while they're at home, and so many things that we're sending them that they just don't know where to start. One of the things that they suggested to keep it kind of a focused time is to only present the same amount of time as their age minus 2 minutes. So let's say they're age 10, we would present about 8 minutes and then give some type of break for them or some way, some activity to engage their brain. Another thing that they struggle with is the impulse controls. Um, there's so many things right there at their fingertips. Never before have they been able to just jump on another tab, do this, do that, go watch YouTube, go see whatever they want to see. And it's hard for them to control those impulses while they're trying to pay attention to you. Another thing that's really important, and it may seem like it's less important because they're not right there in front of you, but it's actually more important, is the building relationships. So everything that you can do to see that the kids are heard and seen is so important online. You have to give them that. And so those check-ins with them, the building relationships, talking to them about things that are not school-related, things that they're interested in, just making sure that they know that you care is so important for distance learning. Another thing is the feedback. Feedback can be hard to do online, so giving them some type of feedback though is very important because if they don't feel like you're looking at your work, They may wonder why they even need to do it. And so you really need to give them feedback timely and talk to them about their work. Do self-checking work, things that can be quick for you, but also for them. So also another thing that you have to think about is the problem solving. Much of the problem solving that's often done in class now has to be done by the student. And so they have to break down the bigger task into smaller steps, but we have to teach them how to do that. So, talking about some strategies, we're going to go through them. And the first one that I have is that we have to adapt. We have to kind of change our mindsets and go ahead and adapt ourselves. We ask our kids to adapt. We have to do that as well. You cannot just take your material that you would provide in class and throw it online. We have to adapt our instruction for the online format. We have to choose our content carefully and build really rich activities that keep them engaged while they're still working on their own. We have to change our mindsets as well to be open to the virtual world. Next, we have to, again, learn to adopt. And so in order to reach those students virtually, you have to adapt. You can't just slap an anchor chart into an online platform and expect them to learn it. We have to decide to embrace a new format that allows you to reach learners in different ways. Start playing with the technology if you're not used to it. If you're not already a pro, learn to create the videos. Find excellent media. If you don't know how to do it, find somebody that does. Learn how to do it so that you can be effective online. Collaboration is just as important online as it is in class. There is probably some truth to the fact that they cannot collaborate the same way as before. I heard it recently said by a teacher, it's just not the same as the classroom. They're not able to collaborate. I want to challenge that. We can't do it the same way, but there's some strategies that we can use that in class that actually still work virtually. So let's talk about some of those. So first of all, Jigsaw. You may already be familiar with the Jigsaw strategy for collaboration in school. You use the same technique of asking students to learn just a piece of that material, and then we teach it to the group. Another thing that you guys probably have used before, the daily discussion questions. You do this in class already. We discuss, we think about our questions. Do it for your online learners. There's so many different ways to do that though, through Google Classroom, Schoology, and Seesaw. They all have a way for students to post and engage in collaboration through discussion boards. There's also even platforms like Padlet or Google Slides. Take advantage of these as ways to collaborate online. Padlet and Google Slides both offer ways to be able to add thoughts kind of all at the same time, seeing what everybody's putting on there, being able to add on, and almost kind of better than being in person because they're just able to see everything all at once. Seesaw is one of my favorites for elementary age students to be able to collaborate on. They can really kind of see the other person's thoughts and add on to them in that moment. Another thing that you guys can use is polls and quizzes. Again, you're keeping your information short, so then you can break it up, put a poll in there, put a quiz in there, short enough for them to get some quick feedback or to give their opinion. Keeps them engaged. So here are some different resources, and you guys can come back to this to look at this, but one of them is 30 ways to use Padlet in the classroom. Check it out. There are so many different ways to use Padlet to collaborate. Schoology actually has a distance learning readiness kit, and this helps teachers learn how to use it. So if you're not familiar with Schoology, you can actually go to their website and they'll teach you how to use it. The same for Google Classroom. Only Google Classrooms is called the Teacher Center. It has lots of resources, tips, and training. Seesaw also has a Getting Started guide. And so there's lots of different things. There's even free professional development from Seesaw that you can look up. Next, I want you to think about goals. When we give kids a purpose, they're more likely to work for you. It's the same in class as it is online. You want to set those clear, measurable goals that can be your best source of motivation. Set them regularly so the students have something to focus on. Instead of giving them just an open-ended task and leaving them to it, that's the temptation. Give them a reason to work hard, and the students will. So when we set these expectations, we want to be really clear and specific with the students about the expectations. So you need to let them know the time they should spend on the task, what you want to see. Give them exactly a quantifiable outcome. So each person needs to find 5 facts on whatever. So make sure that you're giving them exactly what you want, and you'll get those results. Give them a means of accountability. So that needs to be on the platform so that everybody can see, and a due date. It's important that they know when you want it and how you want it. You do that in the classroom naturally, but it has to be kind of written out when you're online so they can see it. Now, in class, again, we reflect all the time. Reflection of the lesson is just as important online as it is in person. It sometimes gets lost between simply posting the day's material online. Give your students a chance to reflect on their own learning and make goals just as they would in class. Again, I say embrace the technology. It's not going anywhere. Let's use it to our advantage. According to Johanna Riddle, technology can be a partner to work with that can add a creative aspect for our students. Technology infusion can actually contribute to learning every day, and it can be embedded into the disciplines, whether we're online or in person. If you're uncomfortable with the platforms, again, own it. Look for trainings to learn from. They're out there. You'll be amazed with how many free online trainings there are if you just search for the platform that you're struggling with. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of them have trainings on their websites if you just search them. For instance, I searched and found over 37 million videos which are meant to teach about Google Classroom. If that scares you with that much information out there, find somebody who's good at it and ask them. Team up together to learn these resources. There's going to be people on your team who are really good at one thing and other people who are good at another. Use each other and collaborate together. And that brings up, you are not alone. Learn how to support each other. Surround yourself with teachers who are one positive. You don't want to be always hearing negative things about being online. Be around people who are willing to share suggestions. If everybody's sharing suggestions, then nobody's getting upset that it seems like, oh, she's a know-it-all because she's sharing all her opinions. Share your success stories. Guys, this actually has been shown to release dopamine, and it creates more positivity and a willingness and openness to share. You ask your students to do this all the time. Do it together. Get your team together and share the good things, not just negativity. If you're part of the administration, look for the feedback from your teachers. Be open to listening to them about their concerns and be willing to help them advocate for that teacher. Allow them to know that they're not alone. Don't get bogged down looking for resources. There's lots of good ones out there. Here's a couple of good ones. You can look at these. Don't get bogged down looking for resources. There's so many good ones out there. You guys are not alone. Use each other. Here's a couple more good resources. And if you guys need more resources, let me know, because as I was researching this, I found so many. I'll be glad to share. And now for our special announcement that you guys have been waiting for. We're going to do a book talk. Super excited about this. We're going to be following Jennifer Saravallo's Connecting with Students Online Strategies for Remote Teaching and Learning. We decided to use this because she gives some actual doable answers that are based on her experiences and those of teachers, administrators, and coaches that she's communicated with. She focuses on that teacher to student connection. She's going to help you prioritize what matters during the remote online instruction, help you schedule your day, and maximize your teaching and learning without burnout. So that's where we're headed. Looking forward to that. We'll be sending out some more information about what that's going to look like and when that's going to be. And I hope you guys are excited as I am for that. The next thing I want to talk about is our collaborative planning. Part of our PLCs that we're going to be having, we are going to be working on serving you guys throughout this process and helping you guys plan together for the online learning. I know it's a whole new world as far as for planning, creating things to put online. So we want to be able to help you with that and answer questions for you or just work together with you to figure things out. So look forward to that in the near future. You. And I hope that you embrace technology, give your students time to reflect, create that purpose for your students, give the students opportunities to collaborate and adapt to the new world of distance learning. Should you need more information, feel free to reach out with questions. And thanks for listening. I will be sending out a survey, and I would really appreciate if you guys could give me some feedback. Thanks a lot, guys. And here are some of the references for this presentation.